Have you ever had this feeling where you feel like you miss a certain era in time? A time you definitely weren't even alive when it happened? So maybe you're watching an old movie or even scrolling on your phone and you hit a piece of content showing you a window to a past time, like 80s neon nights, or a scene from an older movie, or medieval castles. Why do our brains feel nostalgic for things we never lived? Well, there is a word for this, and it's called anemoia, nostalgia for a time you never experienced. But how's that even possible? Why, or better yet, how can we experience nostalgia to something we never experienced at all? After all, nostalgia originally meant homesickness so intense, soldiers were literally diagnosed with it. So how can we feel homesick for a home we never had? In reality, it all lies in what we'll call the illusion of a lived memory. It turns out your brain doesn't store memories like a computer. Instead, every time you recall something, you rebuild it. And here's where anemoia differs from nostalgia. You can build memories from things you never lived. Movies, stories, photos, music from a different time. Your brain doesn't care where the pieces came from. If the puzzle fits, it feels real. This is why we can feel nostalgic for the old internet, the old West, or ancient Rome, even though the closest you got to Rome was Google Images or watching a movie about it. Nostalgia releases dopamine and oxytocin, chemicals tied to comfort, belonging, and safety. Sounds familiar? A time you've never lived is perfect because your brain only builds it out of the best pieces. No bills, no political chaos, no real danger, just a golden coloured memory, much like your actual memories that you may have experienced at a younger age, or what we often call a simpler time in retrospect. You don't miss the past, you miss the idea of that past. Perhaps escaping or returning to time where things were quote-unquote better, whether personally or collectively, and whether it was truly better or not. Here's the paradox. If we lived in those times, we probably wouldn't like them. No Wi-Fi, everything was slower, medicine was worse, and the aesthetic we love? People back then didn't think it was aesthetic at all. It was just life. Nobody in 1989 said, "Wow, what a retro synthwave sunset." But that's the trick. Distance from something sometimes turns reality into mythology. Although more often than not, we could feel nostalgic or anemoic to certain attributes that are lacking or non-existent today. For example, something in technology that was superior than its modern counterpart, the way cars were made, for example, as opposed to how they are today. We also often feel nostalgic towards certain human characteristics or the way people behaved in a past time, often presented in older movies or TV shows. The feeling of anemoia comes over us usually as a reaction to refusing any given modern societal norm that we don't necessarily agree with. So in that case, the past feels like a safe zone to feel acceptance or provide validation to your worldview. Which, in a reverse way, makes the memory of the past your way of saying no to what you might disagree with, and in a way, makes the past what's new again after a certain time. So maybe the question isn't, why am I nostalgic for something I never lived? Maybe it's, what does this nostalgia tell me about what my present is missing? Adventure? Simplicity? Community? Morals? Nostalgia, even vicariously for someone else's past, is less about time and more about longing. So if you miss a world you never lived in, maybe your brain isn't confused. Maybe it's trying to tell you what kind of world you want to build now. And as always, thanks for watching.